Hey there, Mountaineer fans, and welcome into another edition of Talking About Preseason. Today I'm joined by the captains of the 2015 Southern Vermont College baseball team. From your right to left, we have senior first baseman Cody Labadia, senior center fielder Sal Chiara, and senior shortstop Chris Nicastro Jr. Gentlemen, thanks for joining us today.
Thanks for having us.
Sal, let's jump right into it with you. What are your thoughts about this preseason compared to those of the last 3 years that you've been here at Southern Vermont?
Well, in all 3 seasons we've worked hard, but I think this year we've pushed each other to pass that plateau that we've been at and work a little harder. We also worked on the mental side of the game, which has really helped us. I mean, it's been a little change for us, took a little bit to get used to, but I think it's really going to be an improvement for us this season.
Awesome. Chris, is there a characteristic or an identity to this team that is different than those in the last 3 years that you've seen here? And if so, do you think that could be the difference maker in you guys getting to the playoffs?
I would say the togetherness that we have as a team. We always go into every year saying we want to have a close group of guys. And this year I can honestly say this is the closest group of guys I've ever been with. Going into the season is definitely going to benefit us because definitely in late inning games, one-run games, knowing that you have confidence in anybody taking the ball on the mound or at the plate, knowing that they're going to get the job done is definitely a benefit to have.
Cody, is there one or maybe two things that you really look at and say that this team really needs to work hard on A or B, X or Y, in order to make it to the playoffs, the postseason?
The major thing that we need to work on is staying in the moment, take it one pitch at a time, not thinking of getting ahead of ourselves. Just go one pitch at a time, forget about mistakes, forget about everything, just focus on that.
Sal, is there any game or a conference series that you or maybe the team overall is especially looking forward to? You know, that's the one that's marked on your calendars.
I would definitely say the series against Mitchell. I mean, they're the defending champs last year, and we're a really competitive group of guys, so we want to go against them and compete against the best.
Chris, who would you say on the team has raised the most eyebrows among the other guys during this preseason with their performance?
I would say the pitchers as a whole. I would say the freshman pitchers. We have a couple injuries on our pitching staff, and those freshmen really have stepped up lately and taken on that role. Really count on them.
Now, Cody, you were named to the D3Baseball.com's All-New England team last year. Do you think that kind of puts a target on your back and that the other teams or the other pitchers who have seen that accolade for you might give you different pitches when you get up to the plate?
I really don't think that they will, because with the lineup that I have around me, before me and after me, they can't really pitch around me, so they're gonna have to attack.
How do those other guys around you in the order make you feel a little more comfortable when you're at the plate?
It takes a little bit of pressure off of me, to be honest. They just help my confidence and keep the team's confidence up.
Sal, what can the Mountaineer fans expect to see out of this team, whether they hit the road to see you guys in away games or watch the games online, or if you guys ever happen to play on your own field here?
I mean, well, we're going to be a team with a lot of energy on all sides of the ball, offense, defense, pitching. The guys in practice, we were always 100% energy 100% of the time, so I think come down, we're going to put on a little show with some energy.
Chris, what are you most looking forward to for your senior season?
Just one last season with a great group of guys and winning some games and having some fun along the way.
And Cody, last question. How's the team feeling heading into opening weekend this Saturday?
They're feeling happy to finally get out of the gym, to get outside, to get on the baseball field. That's pretty much it, though.
All right, one final question. I want all three of you guys to answer this. During the preseason, you kind of change things up from time to time and have a little more fun, especially with your conditioning. One day you guys were out there playing indoor soccer. Who's the best soccer player on the team?
Cody's pretty good. I mean, he's kind of awkward, but I don't know, Eric?
I'd say Eric or Josh Head.
Yeah, it's definitely fun though, doing something besides baseball for conditioning, playing a different sport that we're not really good at, take some pressure off.
It's got to be Josh A.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, guys, don't have too much fun. Don't be stepping on ankles or anything. We appreciate you joining us today, and we wish you the best of luck this season.
Thank you.
And we'll be right back with Coach Gage here on Talking About Preseason. Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
Hey there, Mountaineer fans, and welcome back to Baseball's Talking About Preseason. We are now joined by third-year head coach Dave Gage. Dave, thanks for joining us today.
Absolutely, it's great to be here. It means we're close to the season.
It is. It's right around the corner, although your field's got a little bit of snow on it, but hey, that's what the south of the country is for, right?
Absolutely.
Dave, how do you feel about this year's preseason with the few days left to go before opening day? Are you satisfied with the team and where it is right now?
I'm very happy with this year's team. We return a lot, so it's great. Our practices are very, very well run, mainly because of our leaders and because of our captains. They know every day what to expect, and the sheer fact that we give them a practice plan, and it's just a quick blow of the whistle. We've changed that a little bit this year, and they transition quickly. It's not a bunch of coaches yelling to tell them what to do. They know it. So we're very happy with that, and just some of the things that we taught last year, they have now brought into this year and continue to improve on that. So we're very happy with them.
Now, as mentioned, opening day is this Saturday when you guys head down to Southern Virginia University. What are you guys looking to get out of this weekend, playing on the grass field for the first time since the fall?
I think the biggest thing is just seeing what we have. I mean, we saw what we had in the fall. We've added a couple additions in mid-semester break into the second semester. But now it's just face somebody else. Even in the fall, we got canceled against our competition, so we weren't able to see there. And I think this team has high expectations, so we want to see what we have, and we'll probably change a couple lineups and give some pitchers a couple chances. We won't stretch anybody too far, so we'll have everybody on a pitch count. But we just want to see what we have, putting things together, and see if we filled the voids that we had last year, and see if we filled those.
Now, last year you guys went down to Southern Virginia for a couple games before you went down to Florida for your annual spring break trip. This year you had 8 games before your trip to Florida. Talk about your mindset into your scheduling and why you wanted to kind of get a lot of games in there, if you can, before your trip to Florida this year.
I think the biggest thing is we just needed to break up the gym schedule. There's too much in the gym, and we need to get out, and now we can focus next week on what we didn't do well. So we're testing ourselves each week. Just like in the classroom, I mean, you can't just teach all year long without having a test to see where your students are, and that's was sort of our mindset. Some of the top teams in the country do the same thing, and they go down there. I know SUNY Cortland has done it, a team that's been in the College World Series quite a bit in the last 15, 20 years, and just some other teams around New England do it. So that was our mindset. I think it's going to pay off. And also, you're just battling New England weather all year. So this is a chance where maybe if we get canceled, we do have a few mistakes in there, and we can pick up double headers later in the season. And we do have our schedule to try to get to 40 so these kids can play all 40 games.
Now, some people say that offense wins games, defense wins championships, but in baseball, pitching can win championships. Maybe that lends itself more to the majors than in college, but let's talk about your pitching staff. You lost the all-time program leader in wins in Kurt Kowalczyk, graduating last year. You've got a void to fill in the closer role. How do you think you guys are looking arm-wise, both from your starters all the way to your relievers?
I think the biggest addition to this year is Coach Mark Upright. He's been phenomenal with our guys. He's given them something to improve on every day. He does a ton of video work with them. So, yes, we lost Kurt. We also lost Eric Johansson, our closer, and those will be 2 very big, tough voids to fill. But however, we do return Dylan. We return Josh, who showed a lot of promise last year. Dylan had just a great season as a freshman. We expect big things out of him as a sophomore. He's a leader now. He's showing people things. Dustin Marfiak has been tremendous for us in non-conference games, and he'll compete for a weekend role. We had a couple of freshmen coming in that we're really excited about. So overall, all of those guys we're excited about. And like you said, that's a big piece. Whether it's the majors, whether it's T-ball or not T-ball, but minors and
That would be the only level that is important.
But Little League or in the college, the high school and the college level, your pitching staff is very important. You got to keep them in games, and I think we have that this year. And I know that we have a coach that's going to push those guys to compete every single day.
Now, in conjunction with Coach Upright, let's talk about someone else who's been helping your team for a quick minute here, if you don't mind. And that's your younger brother, Matt Gage, out of Siena College, selected last year in the Major League Draft by the world champion San Francisco Giants. And he's been in the gym here helping some of you guys do some training, different exercises on the mound, off the mound kind of stuff. Talk about that and what kind of asset he's been to your team during the preseason.
It's been amazing. It really has. Just the fact of his work ethic, being selfish for a little bit, I couldn't be prouder of him being my brother. Just the sheer fact that he's in the weight room every day, his sacrifices that he makes day in and day out to make sure he gets better. And that's something that we as coaches always talk about. We got to sacrifice this, we got to sacrifice this. But it's just like the parents, kids hear it from the coach. It's like, okay, coach, you have to say that. When they see it every day from a person who is a pro. And I think the one thing about Matt is Matt wasn't drafted out of high school. So he's earned this. I mean, he worked that to become where he is at the college ranks. It's a similar situation with our guys. We want them to strive to become pros, and they got to see that work ethic and the sacrifices that are made day in and day out. And then, we have his weight training program that we're able to use, which has been very good. Just him being around practice is a great thing, and the fact that, he's ruthless. He has that pro mentality. If a guy makes a mistake, he's going to get on him, which is good, whereas the coaches, sometimes we don't sugarcoat anything, but we'll also try to build him up for the next time. Matt's not that way. Matt's going to get right after him, especially some of his friends who he's played with before. So it's been great. It really has just been a blessing to have my brother around, and the fact that he's a pro, to have a pro around, is something that I think every program would love to have.
Dave, third year at the helm of the program. Your first 2 years, you just missed out on the conference playoffs. Has there been one thing that you've really been spending a little extra time or a little extra focus on that you think could be the difference maker in this 2015 getting to the playoffs?
Mm-hmm. This is going to sound very weird. We cared less about winning. As a young coach, I cared all about winning, and I did. And I think it's very easy to do that. I think it's very easy for our players to do that. And we've taken a step back, and we have taught the mental game of this and sticking to a process and not worrying so much about outcomes and playing this game against ourselves and worrying about our effort and our energy and our extra swings and not so much about where we compare to other teams. So the conference is great. It's going to be a very tough conference. Everybody's competitive. We're really excited about that. We're excited about our non-conference schedule. But don't get me wrong, we want to win. I think we're in sports, we all do. But at the same time, that's not our emphasis every day. Our emphasis isn't to go out and look at the scoreboard every single pitch. It's to stay in the moment, stay pitch to pitch, and just get better. And I think we have the perfect opportunity with our scheduling to measure ourselves each and every week to do that. So it's been a great transition, and I think it's very tough to get 18-year-olds to buy into that. But our seniors and some of our upperclassmen have. We'll find out, with what their answers were with you earlier. So we'll see what they were. But at the same time, it's been fun to teach the mental side and just develop people much more than develop just baseball players.
And going on that upperclassman senior piece a little bit, how has that mindset of trying to be more focused on every pitch, every second, compared to the bigger picture and just trying to win? Have you seen that kind of rub off on the upper guys at all in the gym, or do you think it's going to be something that you won't see until they actually get into a game on the field?
Our senior leadership and some of our junior leadership are great people, and we have leadership council meetings, and some of the things that they talk about, they'll give us answers that we don't even expect them to give us. They're just so smart and so bright, and when you really ask them, you can see that it's paying off. A guy like Rich Rios, he'll stand up in front of the team every so often and just talk about how TCU uses this or Ole Miss uses this, and some of the examples of that has helped them, and I think that's what helps the younger kids. And same thing with Sal and Cody and Chris, is they believe in it, and we have something that's very special right now. There's not a kid on our team that's made the conference playoffs, and I think people are like, oh, well, you have high expectations, and we do. But we also have a kid, we don't have a single inning, a single play, a single at-bat in the conference playoffs besides, a little bit of our coaching staff in other places. So it's good that we're focused on the process and not focused on that end-all goal. And I think because of that, our players are willing to buy into this a little bit more, because focusing on winning the last 3 years for the seniors hasn't worked. So, now we're focused on that process and that day-to-day stuff, and I think it's working, and we'll really find out this weekend, depending on our results, and just going pitch to pitch.
So we just heard from your captains. What are your overall expectations for the year? If you want to talk about record or in and out of the playoffs, just whatever you prefer. What do you think you see this team having next to that 2015 in the record books years down the road?
I think what will make us happy, and I think you hear this from a lot of coaches and top coach talk, is just that we improve every day. And if we can do that, if we come out of this weekend and we have a starting point and we continuously improve, I think our fans and our players will be very happy with that. And I just think to continue to develop better people. And if we do that, our guys will succeed beyond the baseball field and succeed in graduating. It's special. We have 6 graduating seniors this year. And hopefully they'll all get jobs, as the day that they walk across the stage. So if we have that next to our 2015 team, I think that's a successful season for us.
Sounds good. Well, once again, the Mountaineers open up regular season play this Saturday down at Southern Virginia University with a doubleheader. And then you guys go on to play 9 more road games before heading to Orlando, Florida for your yearly spring trip. And then right upon returning from the Sunshine State, you're scheduled to open up the New England Collegiate Conference with a series against Daniel Webster College. The first 2 games of that series supposed to be here down on Everett Field, Epstein Field rather, on March 21st. But as we see outside and as the snow continues to come almost every single day, that is put in further question. But you guys hit the field hard last year, doing a lot of work, so never know what kind of shape it could be in for March 21st. Hopefully we'll have some baseball here in Bennington. Hopefully you folks can make it out, and if you can't, you can watch the games online. SVCathletics.com is your destination for more news and info and all of your SVC baseball updates. Coach, thanks for joining us today, and good luck this season.
Thank you, Mike. Appreciate it.